Let me clear my throat. Hello, family. Welcome to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbie. Before we get into today's episode, if you are new to this podcast or if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel as of yet, please do so now. And also be sure to tap that notification bell for alerts when we drop a new episode. Ladies and gentlemen, please let us know in the comment section below this audio podcast where are you listening to us from? Also, let us know what's happening in your country, your state, and or in your city so that we can discuss it on this platform in real time. We are a global community and we want to keep our listeners informed about what's going on with Black people and African people. I would like for us to grow this platform to 500,000 strong, and also for us to get our film project fully funded and made so that we can use the proceeds from this film to purchase property in Chicago, Illinois, within the Black community and become an economic base within the Black community. Eventually, in God's timing, we will be hosting African tours, Caribbean tours, and South American tours so that we can move beyond cyberspace and make our presence known in cities and countries around the globe. On this platform, we are more than just talk. We want to put boots on the ground and do what we can to help improve the social conditions of our people who want more out of life and who want to become GERCAM members. To learn more about business opportunities within our media component, please purchase my ebook first and read my story for yourself. If you agree with my vision and plan to help improve Black America, specifically Black Chicago, then you will automatically become a GERCAM member. I'm looking forward to connecting with many of you. And again, I thank those of you who have supported this important piece of work we're trying to do. Disclaimer: the content is for educational and informational purposes only. It is based on public available reports and verified media sources. We fully comply with YouTube's community guidelines. We do not promote violence, hate, or misinformation in any form. This podcast is available in two forms: audio and also as a written text, in order for us to reach our audience. Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast is our Black media component. I would like to encourage my listeners to please subscribe to my Medium page, especially those of you that's continental Africans, or I would say Native Africans, because that way you can read my presentation word for word. You know what I'm saying? And that way it's not going to eat up none of your bundles. Also, please subscribe to my Pod Chaser. I provide that in the comment section below this audio podcast. You'll find it in there. And that way you can listen to the audio form as well. And you don't have to worry about it eating up or eating away at your bundles. For those of you that's on the African continent. Again, I provide my media transcript in the comment section below this audio podcast. Attention Black artists, African artists who are authors, comedians, poets, musicians, and or entrepreneurs. I share my platform with those of you who are on my social media pages or in my social groups on Facebook or LinkedIn. All you need to do is make arrangements with me to come on this platform so that way you can promote your books, your business, your music, your jokes. And if you have a small ministry, then you're more than welcome to come on here and share a 30-minute sermon with my listeners from the global community. After the show, um, I offer incentive to my guest speakers by teaching them how to create their own podcast, YouTube channel, and get it monetized, as well as assist them with creating a free Wix website so that way they can launch their online business or online ministries. And if they work hard at growing their audience, then eventually they will get sponsors. Um, those of you that would like to come on here, let's say, but you don't know how to use StreamYard or Zoom, then I'm willing to teach you how to use both, right? I am available. Um, I would say Tuesday, May 12th, Thursday, May 14th. Um, okay, so May 13th through Sunday, May 17th, through Sunday, May 24th, Monday, May 25th through Friday, May 29th, from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. American Central Time. On this platform, we keep you informed and empowered from wherever you are, either from the diaspora or on the African continent. Don't just listen to our podcast, join Gracam. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to do more than just news and social commentaries, but at this point in time, this is where I'm at. And let's keep it a buck. Um, I'm not making any money from my book sales or making any money from items on my virtual store. So I'm unable to hire people. This is the whole reason why I'm doing this platform now. Um, I wrote my story in order to generate capital. I created my virtual store in order to create capital. Then I can hire people. That's how that works, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Um, so yeah, I reached out to a lot of black Chicagoans in real life. Majority of them tell me they're not interested. I'm like, all right, cool, no problem. And this is why I created this platform to broadcast my vision and plan across the United States of America in order to recruit brave and smart, like minded Black Americans beyond Chicago who identify themselves as DAS FM, descendants of American slaves / freedmen. This business is for you and your family, especially Black parents trying to bring this business to the low income Black community. I'm also trying to recruit brave and smart, like minded African immigrants within the United States from 10 African nations. They are as follows: South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Uganda, Angola, Liberia, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Nigeria. I understand that you're here in America to live your American dreams, but it was my ancestors who fought and died to get you all to be able to come here to this country. Not only, I would say, African immigrants, but Afro Caribbeans, as well as non white immigrants to come to this country. You know what I'm saying? I'm reaching out to you all. You know what I'm saying? Trying to reach out to you all because unfortunately, due to this slave mentality within my uh, lineage or racial group, I'm unable to reach Black Americans. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Um, and I understand my purpose. I understand that this mission that I've been assigned to is bigger than myself, and so this is how come I'm still pushing this as hard as I can. My film project is my last attempt to try to do something positive for my racial group, Black Americans, before I cut and run and come to Africa. But we got to get it popping here first, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm encouraging those of you to become Gurkhan members because my business is going to be membership based. All these people that sitting up here taking me for a joke, sitting up here just trying to call themselves being slick, want to wait until I quote unquote make it or to this business materialize. I start making money. Then they want to come out the woodwork. Well, those that sat up here and rejected my vision and plan for the past 34 years would not be part of my business because this is membership based and I'm going to run my business the way I run my home, drama free. I'm checking everybody that come through our doors once we have that physical building. But first and foremost, I got to continue to do this until I can, you know, generate some capital. Generate capital so I can be in a better position financially to hire Black people, African people, and others. It's extremely frustrating, but hey, it is what it is. But I guarantee you one thing: I'm never gonna go through this mess again, and I'm gonna make sure that my members will never have to go through this kind of foolishness as well. Um, so the title of my revised book, quote, The Solution for Black America, Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America, second edition, is available on Amazon in two forms: as an ebook for $9.99 or as a softcover book for $15 plus shipping and handling. That book is the foundation of my Christian business. That book is also, it has um, all the principles in that book represents the code for Gurkhan members. If you want to know what the code is, you're going to have to read the book. That's all I'm saying. Um, Again, I'm reaching out to the global African family to help me get my revised book on that bestsellers list so that way, again, I can be in a better position financially to hire Black people, African people, and others. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I want my advisory board or my resource team. Those are the people that's going to help me run this thing to have at least an associate's degree or above. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I went to college. I'm a college graduate. So I want to make sure that I have smart and brave people that's going to help me run this thing. Not people just talking, talking smack and, or dropped out of high school. I can't have that. I'm just being honest and real. I want this business to be effective and successful for years to come. You know what I'm saying? And so I want Black attorneys, African attorneys, investors, Black entrepreneurs, African entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, and philanthropists to be on my advisory board or resource team. Um, Once we get this film project fully funded and made and the proceeds from the film starts pouring in, then I would be in a better position financially to purchase property in Chicago, Illinois, buy office equipment, hire qualified Black middle class professionals, and qualified African immigrants. We're going to make sure we get this business popping here. Oh, yes, hold on. So I am called by my Lord and Savior, Jesus slash Yahshua, to create the best Black Christian business within the United States of America. With the help of GERCAM members, that's going to be both Black Americans and African immigrants. We're going to create the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. And we're going to bring this business to the low-income Black community. And again, we want to just do the best that we can to make a positive impact in the community. And that's what I want to do before I cut and run. And that's going to be for credibility. You know what I'm saying? I encourage everyone in my Christian groups on Facebook, Light of the World Inspirational Group, and Christian Spoken Word Network. I need you all to stand up. Please do your part. Don't just be on there just to be seen. Because if you act funny with me right now, I'm going to act funny with you once I become financially established. I'm going to treat you the same way. That's all I'm saying. If you're not going to support me, I'm not going to support you. It's just that simple. Anybody that doesn't care about solving black issues or solving African issues, my advice to you is to delete me off your friends list and go on about your business. I'm here to recruit brave and smart people that's here within the United States of America. And eventually we want to expand it, like I say, to those 10 African nations I just mentioned. So that way we can do international trade with our brothers and sisters on the continent. But we got to get it popping here first. Ladies and gentlemen. I'm also reaching out to people in my secular groups, such as Gurkai of Africa, Gurkai of Chicago. Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast group, etc. I need you all to stand up. Put me on blast. You know what I'm saying? Just let all your friends know what I'm trying to do over here. Encourage them to purchase the book, because I need that book to be on that bestsellers list. Let the whole Black world know what we're trying to do. That's how come I'm trying to do a film. I want the whole Black world to know our story and what we're trying to do for our people that's trapped in American ghettos. And again, those that rejected me for the past 34 years here in the city of Chicago, ain't no problem at all. I'm not mad. It is what it is. You just won't be part of my business, that's all. Because this is membership based. So that's how it is. I encourage Black content creators and African content creators who have a large following. Please allow me to come on your platform so that way I can speak about my revised book and my film project. After all, this Christian business is for Black millennials and Generation Z. Most of all, it's geared toward Black parents, single Black mothers, single Black fathers, even two-parent families. But bottom line, it's geared toward Black families. We want to help keep your kids off the streets and out of gangs. That's how we help stop the genocide in American ghettos. This is not my burden alone. This is a shared burden that the CAM members must fix within Black society. I don't want the brand and the vision to die in America. I am pushing this vision to the Black world. This is my contribution to Africa's rising. So that's all I'm saying. Um, this year, we are determined to get this film project fully funded and made so that way we can get our story on the big screen in order to reach the Black world and let them know what we're trying to do for DAS FM, descendants of American slaves slash freedmen who are trapped in American ghettos, specifically Black Chicago. Upcoming events. I would like to encourage my listeners to mark your calendar for our upcoming events. Um, Wednesday, May 13th, we have a special guest. We have guest speaker, uh, Ross from Georgia. Friday, May 15th, we have guest speaker Ivy from Cameroon. She's a musician, and she will be interviewing me, hopefully. Um, Saturday, May 30th, we're hosting our monthly virtual interactive conference. I would like to encourage 5 people that's on my friends list on Facebook or in my social groups on Facebook. If interested in being on the panel, then please send me a message to my inbox from one of the either if you're on my friends list or if you're in my social groups. So send me a message to my Facebook inbox with your email address so that way I can email you specific instructions about being on the panel. You would need to watch a documentary first so that way you can discuss it on the show. If you are unable to participate on our monthly virtual interactive conference on YouTube, no problem. Um, just please watch the replay, leave a public comment about the topic in the comment section. Um, and most of all, share my audio podcast with your friends on all social media sites that you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. The theme, the murder of Fred Hampton and lessons learned from past Black grassroots organizations, where YouTube Live when Saturday, May 30th, time 2 p.m. American Central Time, 3 p.m. Canadian Time, 8 p.m. West African Time, 9 p.m. South African Time, 10 p.m. East African Time, and 8 p.m. UK Time. Title of this presentation: Are FBA more xenophobic than Black South Africans? In this episode, we will discuss the growing conversations around xenophobia within FBA. Quote that's foundational Black American. And how does it compare to the well documented tensions in South Africa? We explore whether similar patterns are emerging across different parts of the diaspora. Are these concerns rooted in real experience, online narratives, or deeper issues surrounding identity, economics, or belonging? We also we are also going to discuss the complex questions about South Africa. South Africa is one of the most diverse nations in Africa, but it also faces deep social tensions shaped by history, economics, and migration. In layman terms, we will break down um, what xenophobia looks like in South Africa, the rise of FBA discourse and identity politics, whether similar tensions are appearing in diaspora conversations, the role of social media in amplifying divisions, what this means for unity across the global Black community and historical context of race and identity in South Africa, xenophobia and its impact on African migrants, economic competition and social perceptions, media narratives versus reality on the ground. This is not about division, it's about understanding the reality shaping modern Africa. Since people are still talking about xenophobia in South Africa, some people are asking FBA, which is Foundational Black Americans, are just as xenophobic as South Africans. The main problem is Africa is xenophobic and tribalism. That would never happen among the most blackity blacks, the pro blacks, because Black Americans as a collective would never do such things like what we're seeing on these videos that are coming out of South Africa. For example, kicking sick people out of the hospital, removing children from public schools, and telling pregnant women they can't utilize a hospital. They can give birth on the side of the road. So, no, we won't do that um, here in America. Where is the compassion for humanity? But from what I understand, Black South Africans are trying to say say that these other Africans are coming to Africa illegally and aren't contributing to the country. South Africa has a government assistance program similar to that of the United States of America. Black South Africans are saying if you're abusing and exploiting their government assistance programs, then they need to go back to their own country and build it up. Black South Africans are putting pressure on their governments to change immigration laws. Illegal immigrants shouldn't have access to their government assistance programs if they're not paying taxes or contributing to it. I believe that the issue is deeper. There's tension between the white people and the native Black South Africans. Instead of them demanding the whites for um, better pay and demanding their government for higher wages and prioritizing them, um, instead they're becoming vigilantes and taking justice in their own hands by attacking others or attacking other Africans. But I noticed none of them will go to places like Cape Town, Orania, Cliff, Cliffontein, and I don't know how to pronounce this word. I'm gonna just guess Morgensen have a form of segregation within South Africa. The South African government needs to make laws easier for for Black South Africans to have higher paying jobs. South Africa needs more people like Julius Malema to stand up against those white supremacist financial elites and create laws which prioritize Black South Africans. The Democratic Alliance, which is that's basically like the former regime from the apartheid system. It's a predominantly white political party. They have gained more votes than the EFF during the 2024 elections. And make that make sense. I found a video clip from Al Jazeera entitled, quote, South African anti-migrant protests, unquote. To watch the full video, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this audio podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. On the video, it shows several demonstrations targeting migrants in South Africa. Thousands of people marching in Durban, Pretoria, and Johannesburg. saying they want more government action to tackle what they say is illegal immigration. The protesters blame other Africans for taking their jobs and committing crimes. But if you notice, they're not protesting in Cape Town. All the blacks are on the outskirts of the city. Inside the city is full of white people. The business districts where all the tourism is, which is completely segregated. All of the blacks are on the outskirts of the city. The United Nations has condemned the attacks. This is not the first time such protests have been in South Africa. There were large outbreaks of violence against foreign nationals in 2008, 2015, and 2019, and the same sentiments are being repeated. Protesters are demanding that their borders be properly managed and all undocumented people should be sent back to their countries. They receive free education and free health care to game the system, but um, that's not a good way to go about it by putting hands on people and things like that. In contrast, you would never see FBA, Foundational Black Americans, protesting in the streets for three reasons. One, FBA, for the most part, are gainfully employed. Number two, FBA under Tariq Nasheed is credited for launching the delineation movement, which focused on Black Americans' lineage. Um, so Uh, I'm just saying because again, that FBA, their same lineage as what I am, descendant of American slaves slash freedmen. But I did have a problem with a twisted FBA. Um, he was talking a lot of foolishness to me and things like that when I was on a site called Substack. Okay, and I want to say I was on there for about a good um I'm guessing about a good 6 months, and all of a sudden my account got canceled and I was like, what's going on? And I believe it had something to do with that twisted FBA brother, you know because he's up here was trying to give me some problems. you know I ain't bugging. Shoot, I'm just reporting the news, and I'm trying to recruit brave and smart people. You know what I'm saying? Trying to help our black people. You know, so I can move this business from behind the computer and make our presence known in the black community. That's all I'm trying to do. Yes, it's been a long time. Uh, been pushing it for 34 years. Been paying out of pocket for this business title for 16 years, ladies and gentlemen. That's a doggone shame. That's a prison sentence. All of this just because I'm trying to be obedient to my creator. You know, I didn't ask for this, but I'm going to do my best. You know what I'm saying? I don't like what I'm going through. I don't like I'm not getting support for trying to help our own people. This is ridiculous. This is why I'm reaching out to African immigrants. Shoot. And this is why I created this platform to beat that drum loud and clear. So anyway, this twisted FBA, even though we're from the same lineage and stuff like that. Yeah, I just told the guy, just send me his email address and I'll let him come on my show, get on camera and debate me. You know what I'm saying? Dude talking about, I'm a teller and all that garbage. I'm like, fool, I'm from the same lineage. And plus, how am I being disrespectful for trying to create a business in the black community? Off cold behind, talking that smack. I ain't having that. Anybody that want to debate me and all that kind of stuff, shoot, just read my book first. That's all I want you to do. Because don't waste my time. Read my story. Make arrangements with me to get on this platform. Get on camera and let's do the doggone thing. Uh, um, put me to shame. Make me don't want to put my face out there in the public. You know what I'm saying? Do it. Shoot. Because like I say, all I'm trying to do is get this thing popping with the help of the CAM members. And I'm turning the business over. And when I go to Africa, I'm only focusing on African issues. That's just how it is. I gave Black Americans 34 years of my life, and I'm still on first base, and that is unacceptable, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm gonna do what my creator called me to do the best that I can at it. But yeah, that's what went down. This dude got me kicked off of Substack. That's ridiculous. But that's all right. It is what it is. Um. Anyway, finally, we have laws on the books to protect people from being physically assaulted. So I'm just saying those are the main reasons. You know. Again, I am Das FM, descendant of American slaves / freedmen, all day, every day. I don't use the term FBA, but why? Because that's under Tariq Nasheed's camp. I already explained to you about the different, ideologies. So if you want to know more about that, I don't want to um, repeat myself about what I already said before. You just listen to um, my past podcasts, and I have everything. If you want to really see it, you just look it up under the archives. Okay. So our focus over here is about cleaning up the low-income Black community and building Black institutions and forming an alliance with the African immigrant community across the United States of America. I want to be remembered for trying to build something positive and constructive, and that can be passed down to the next generation. That's what I'm on. I'm not on here for clicks and likes and views. I want people to, if you're interested in solving Black issues, I'm your person for you to connect with, and let's make that happen. Again, those that's not interested, all I ask you to do is please delete me off your friends list and go on about your business. And that's real. I remember back in 2008, what happened to Africans from Mozambique and Zimbabwe. They gave South Africa an ugly look. That's what's going. That's going to look really ugly again when bloodshed starts happening. It's already happening, slowly turning more violent. If only South Africans and West Africans worked together before it got on social media, that would help, would have helped turn things around a little. Listen to me, my fellow African brothers and sisters. Stop coming to other people's countries and getting on social media saying you're going to replace the native people. That's dangerous. What I noticed on certain videos about African immigrants and Afro Caribbeans coming over to the United States, putting down, I would say, my lineage, descendants of American slaves / freedmen, we're the ones that help y'all come here in the first place. It was my ancestors. But you're coming over, not all, but a few coming over here saying that we're lazy, stupid, and we don't have a culture. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. That's very disrespectful. And this is why, that over time, you got a brother like Tariq Nasheed. He created or form, FBA as a way to lash out against African immigrants and Afro Caribbeans who's constantly, trash talk Black Americans. You know, I still work, but hey, yeah, if you calling putting down my lineage and stuff like that, I ain't gonna fool with you neither. But I'm not gonna sit up here and be name calling and all that stuff. But yeah, he refers to those type of people as tethers. A tether is a term used for African immigrants or Afro Caribbeans who are perceived to de- denigrate or undermine Black Americans while profiting off our struggle from the civil rights era. So that's what he means by, a tether. South Africa is the only country in Africa that has a first world infrastructure. I believe South Africa are using other Africans as a scapegoat because they are not comfortable with the the white supremacist financial elites that still controls the economic power. They have 80% of the land and wealth since the end of apartheid. So Black South Africans are mad and lashing out at African immigrants. Zimbabwe is still sanctioned by Western nations to make an example to South Africa to think twice about retaking the land from Europeans. But it has to happen. I mean, this is not going to go on forever. This is why Gakai of Chicago is needed so that Black Americans and African immigrants we can work together to eliminate the instability and terrorism on the African continent and do international trade with each other. That's all I'm trying to do, ladies and gentlemen. But you're gonna have to come to me correct, and anybody step to me with a funky attitude, we will remain strangers for life. Mark my words. I'm not none of Jesus. I'm just being real. Get on under my skin, we strangers for life. Africa, Africans own um so anyway, African I'm gonna say trade only 14% on the African continent, while Europe trade 60% on the continent. See all those disparities? The problem is that their colonial education keeps Africans thinking they're smarter than Black Americans. Delineation in this day and age is necessary. Brother Tariq Nasheed is calling for delineation from everybody. So that's him, you know. But I'll still work with you. Like I say, I'm talking about African immigrants, just long as you're not being disrespectful about, my ancestors too. Don't say that around me if you do have issues. But I just that's not cool. I want to work with those that want more out of life and all that good stuff. I call for delineation from the enemy within, which is con artists, black boule, degenerates, Democrat shields, hardened criminals, pedophiles, off code Negroes, and urban terrorists. In my revised book, Chapter 3, on faith, page 92, I predicted that the white supremacist financial elites will start a war with Iran. Read it and you'll see it's in there. And this may give rise to World War III. So that's currently what's going on now. And so, like I say, I published that book, my revised book in 2012. So, read it for yourself. You'll see it in there. A lot of stuff that I wrote in that book is coming to pass. I was trying to warn Black Americans about, that the Latino community, they're going to fight like hell to get their people to become legal citizens, you know? And that's, I mean, that's what they're supposed to do. All these other groups are on code with each other except Black people. And that's because of this slave mentality. If we do not deal with this slave mentality, that's going to be the fall of Black America, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm saying. Um, the energy crisis is here, and I know many people are talking about nuclear warfare. Yeah, and that's real. But what's also real is the American empire is collapsing, and we're $38 trillion in debt. Look at what's happening in European countries. I mean, yes, they're not fighting each other; they're kicking out Africans, telling them to go back home and all that stuff. I mean, this is a wake up call for the global Black family worldwide. But all I know is, it's just some rough situations. So, but nevertheless, they are facing immigration crisis too. But again, they're deporting Africans from their country, and I would say Afro Caribbeans. You know, Black Africans and and Africa have the right to do the exact same thing to those Europeans on the African continent. If they want to act all petty and all that stuff, hey, we don't need them. They need us. I'm just saying. Gakam is calling on the Black world to take a stand, either join us or embrace annihilation. That's basically what this is coming down to. It's not a good look for South Africa how you are going about beating up fellow Africans. That's ridiculous and it needs to stop. I need all of my listeners to get on board and work with me and get in my revised book on that bestsellers list. And if you live here in the United States, get behind our film project. So that way we can get our story on that big screen and eventually make our presence known in the low income Black community in Chicago and expand to the African continent, starting in South Africa, ladies and gentlemen. That's real. Um, that's basically what this is all about. Um, I can't pass down Cacao Chicago to my family because majority of my family members, they're full of Willie Lynch. So I just keep my distance. I love them afar. I love my enemies afar. I don't know who came up with that idea. You're supposed to keep your enemies close. That's dumb. I don't operate like that at all. As a matter of fact, I don't operate like the next Black man. I have my own style and way of doing things. I ain't trying to be like nobody else. I'm being myself, and I keep it authentic, keep it open, honest, and that's just how I am. Um, so again, yes, I can't pass down the kind of Chicago to my family members because they would be looking for the highest bidder and they'll sell it in a heartbeat. I only can pass down Cacao Chicago to Gurkham members, both Black Americans who identify as Das FM, descendants of American slaves slash freedmen, and African immigrants who are members of Gurkhai of Chicago slash or Gurkham members. They will inherit this business. Again, I'm proud of Africans from Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger for standing up and taking back their country from the former colonizers, France. They they should be a model for all African nations. These white supremacist financial elites are planning on going to war with the Sahel states on behalf of Western nations. Look at how these European nations all refused to vote at the UN about reparations, but the UK and the United States of America gave reparations to the former slave owners. And that's an insult to our intelligence, ladies and gentlemen. We can't make them pay us reparations, but we don't have to do business with them neither. And we don't have to allow them to remain on our continent. What I'm going through with my own group, Black Americans, this is spiritual warfare. But I promise, once I start making money and this business materialize, we make an impact in our inner city, here in the city of Chicago. Mark my words, everyone in Chicago will want to be a part of us then. Like I told y'all, you know, I don't operate like the next black man. I have my own style and way of doing things. Again, those that rejected me for the past 34 years would not be part of my business at all. Because this is membership based. And we're going to declare war on that slave mentality in my business. So help me God. Before I cut and run to Africa, I have to get Kyle Chicago up and running in America first for credibility. Secondly, I don't want to come to Africa empty handed. I want to bring economic tangibles in the form of job creation for GCAM members and their immediate family members. I'm not running for public office. GCAM members and I are going to build the best Black Christian business within the United States of America, because we're going to get it from the mud, just like our ancestors did when they built Black Wall Street during Jim Crow. We're going to make our presence known on the west side of Chicago. We're going to cover Austin, Garfield Park, and North Lawndale. And eventually we're going to expand to the south side of Chicago and do the same thing. Make our presence known. Work with Black families that want more out of life. We're going to raise that bar. You know what I'm saying? Again, those who are not a part of us, we will pray for them, show them tough love, and keep it moving. Those who want to remain in a burning house at this point of the game, let them burn. We can't help people that don't want to be helped. Black Americans who will become GCAM members will heal from the slave mentality imposed on our ancestors by the white supremacist financial elites. In contrast, African immigrants in America who become GCAM members will heal from that colonized mindset that was imposed on them by the white supremacist financial elites. In this business, we will learn how to work together, build business relationships, learn how to respect each other's culture, and create a Black utopia for credibility before we replicate the business to 10 African nations. I already mentioned them. I'm using this new technology and social media to help spread my vision and plan to those who will listen. My vision for Africa. I can't speak for all Black Americans. I only can speak for GCAM members. But speaking for myself, I want to reconnect with my ancestral homeland, which is Africa. If Black Americans want to continue being treated as third and fourth class citizens, that's on them. But as for me and my house, we're gonna reclaim, or I'm gonna reclaim my birthright. It's my hope to connect with other like-minded African immigrants within the United States of America to work with me in building and managing Kyle Chicago. Let's get it popping first, like I say, for credibility. Then I'm going to, turn the business over to my advisory board or resource team. Let them help manage the business without me having to be their presence because I want to go to the African continent and get it popping there, starting in South Africa. We will go through the proper channels with each African government to start our NGO, non-government organization. We will offer employment to our members and students based on our budget and sponsorship. We will provide infrastructure for clean running water, agricultural technology to feed the people, offer solar energy to help our members and with their electric generators. And most of all, we will help improve the African economy in exchange for dual citizenship and land for descendants of American slaves slash freedmen. Um, the grassroots community activist movement is a 21st century community building approach to solving social problems within the Black community and the African immigrant community and throughout the diaspora. Kakayo Chicago will promote Black economic empowerment on a domestic front and also on an international front. The purpose to recruit brave and smart, like minded Black Americans, brave and smart, like minded African immigrants. Again, I am called by my Lord and Savior Jesus slash Yahshua to rebuild our inner cities in America, starting in Chicago. However, since I got so much rejection and since it's been 34 years, we're only going to do Chicago. Now, if it expands to other cities across the United States, cool. But if not, hey, I gave them 34 years of my life and that's it. This is why I'm reaching out to African immigrants as well as the global African family. Please work with me to help speed up the process so we can get things done. Doggone it. This is a straight up turnoff. Shoot, I didn't expect to be on first base, and I expect that it was going to take 34 years. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I'm just doing the best I can. But good Lord, I make sure none of my members have to go through this type of foolishness. Um, so, um, hold on, let me see where I'm at now. We're looking for legitimate artists to assist us in creating a powerful Black empowerment film. We're looking for Black filmmakers, African filmmakers, directors, producers, actors, stage managers, professional fundraisers, technical directors, and marketers who will be able to come to Chicago and join our management team once we raise the capital for this film project. We're trying to raise 250,000. You know, I created Cam in 1991 on a site called Gopher to help raise awareness about the genocide taking place within our inner cities in America in order to connect with other like-minded individuals who share my vision to form a legitimate coalition across the United States and around the globe from my cause, quote, help stop the genocide in American ghettos, starting in Chicago. Urban violence is a moral issue, just like American slavery and lynching. Mega corporations want to control the internet and silence inspiring voices like mine. GCAM is a body of believers committed to the cause of Jesus and willing to serve in this day and age. We believe and support the concept of family as described in my revised book, which is the foundation of my um, Christian business. Okay. Um, and again, my book is just the beginning. I want to be remembered for trying to build something positive in the um, Black community instead of complaining about the white man, career politicians, and the government. Once we get this film project fully funded and made, and the proceeds from the film starts pouring in, then, like I say, I would be in a better position financially to, hire qualified Black middle class professionals to make sure that this business is going to be effective and successful for years to come, ladies and gentlemen. Um, the Kai of Chicago will offer an interactive space for Black Americans, African immigrants, Afro Brazilians, Afro Caribbeans, and Afro Latinos, Black Black millennials, and Generation Z. Non-Black sympathizers are welcome to join us, not as groups, but as individuals. They would have to stand in front of us. Once we have that physical building, of course, they would have to stand in front of us and let us know where they stand as it pertains to lineage-based cash payment reparations for descendants of American slaves. All I want to know is yay or nay. Do you agree or disagree? I want nothing long-winded. I want it concise. Those that disagree, they can keep it moving. They can't be a part of us. Those that agree, they're gonna have to pay a reparations fee, sit in the back seat, and keep quiet. In this business, we ain't gonna be colonized. Not under my watch. In this business, our focus is on solving Black issues point blank. Nothing else on earth matters. When I bring the business over to the African continent, our focus will be on solving African issues point blank. Nothing else on earth matters. That's how I get down. When we expand, yes, so I already said that part. Um, our mission to eradicate urban violence in Chicago through art, culture, commerce, spiritual development, and hosting African and Caribbean tours. We will promote economic opportunities in the Black community and in the African immigrant community by being an advocate and also become an economic base, ladies and gentlemen. And yet it's taken me 34 years and still this business is not up and running. Lord have mercy on my racial group. That it's a real big turnoff for real. It is. Because if you go to my GoFundMe page, I guarantee you I don't have no donations. I guarantee you. And here it is going almost next month will be 6 months that I've been pushing it, trying to raise funds. But first, I want people to help get the book on that bestsellers list. And again, those that's not interested, please delete me off your friends list. Go on about your business for real. Go on about your business. We ain't got nothing to talk about. The Archive of Chicago will be a multi-purpose facility consisting of a nonprofit sector and a for-profit sector, operating under 9 functions. Number 1, a social service component. 2, a spiritual component, which will be optional for secular people. 3, a political component. 4, an entertainment component. 5, an entrepreneur component. 6, health and wellness component. 7, Black grassroots media component. 8, science and technology component. 9, travel and tourism component. Under the for-profit service sector, that's going to be known as the red zone. We will offer state-of-the-art recreational center, which will have bowling, high rope adventures, captivating game room features featuring the latest video and amusements, stylish billboards, energetic dance rooms, and quality restaurants, various businesses, on-site childcare, and an on-site music recording studio for our members and students making documentary films and stage plays. In addition, we will host family friendly activities, including combination deals, birthday parties, weddings, and corporate parties and events. We will practice group economics in real time by our pooling our resources together in order to create and control our own community grocery store, community healthcare clinic, and community housing because everyone needs food, healthcare, and shelter. Those are jobs right there for CAM members and their immediate family members. And this is group economics in action. We will offer rental space for our members who have a business who went through our business programs. And again, ladies and gentlemen, that's how I'm going to make my money from the business portion of the. That's how I'm going to make my bread and butter by us having our own community grocery store, community healthcare clinic, and community housing. Yes, that's what all I'm trying to do. But I want brave and smart people that's going to work with me to help speed up the process. You know what I'm saying? Cacao Chicago again will be membership based and operate for the mutual benefit of our members. Um, okay, so under the nonprofit cooperative, that would be known as the Green Zone. Cacao Chicago will be governed by an advisory board. And again, it's going to be membership based and operate for the mutual benefit of our members. So any earnings that we make will return to our members in the forms of low price through our quality programs and services. We will assist our members with their utility bills depending on our budget and sponsorship. We will also offer light grocery through our food pantry and offer tutoring services for Black youth, African youth, and their families. Ladies and gentlemen, Cacao Chicago will help benefit Africa because we will form an alliance with African immigrants in the United States, again, for credibility. This is all I've been trying to do. You know what I'm saying? In each African nation that we visit, we will match Black entrepreneurs with African entrepreneurs, Black artists with African artists. Again, so that way we can do international trade among our people and members. You know what I'm saying? Um, so the sooner we get this film project fully funded and made, and then hey, the sooner that's gonna put me in a position so I can hire people. I'm not on here just running off at the mouth, ladies and gentlemen, trying to make this happen. All I have is my revised book, my virtual store, my online groups, and this platform. Trying my best to get my listeners to become members. Read my story for yourself. If you agree, then make arrangements with me to come on this platform so we can talk about it and encourage others. You buy the book, you get the book. That's the tangible. You buy items from my virtual store, you're going to get those items. That's the tangible. Something physically that you can hold. Ain't no scams over here. People work too hard for their money. I don't play that kind of mess at all. And if anybody do think it's a scam, again, delete me off your friends list and go on about your doggone business. Shoot. Don't come around me once I start making money and all that. Because we're going to remain strangers for life. I'm going to treat you the same way you've been treating me. That's just how it is. And work with me while I'm alive. Don't wait until I'm dead. No. Um, um, so we keep forgetting that the overall problem is global white supremacy. I believe that Black Americans and African immigrants are afraid to confront that issue head on. So we end up just fighting each other's. Blacks sit up here fighting other blacks. Africans sit up here and fight other Africans. It's not cool at all. FBA want to blame um, African immigrants and Afro Caribbeans who come over here. Um, uh, they're victims too, you know, the people that come over here. And we have this pride of our struggle, thinking that our struggle is, or our situation was worse off than anyone else's. And it is. I mean, I hear what you're saying, valid points and all that stuff. But bottom line, all of us, on the continent that came over to America and from the Caribbeans, we all suffered. And that's why I'm saying you all are welcome to come over here, just as long as you don't bring them drama. You know what I'm saying? I want to build. I want to solve problems, not just sit up here and complain. And why it's taking so doggone long? Again, God give us free will. I can't make people buy the book. Again, the white man is not stopping Black Americans from buying my book. The white man is not stopping Black Americans from buying items from my virtual store. The white man is not stopping Black Americans from donating to my film project. That's a personal choice, ladies and gentlemen. That's Willie Lynch in real time. So, and that's what the white supremacist financial elites want us to do: just fight each other and stuff, not get things done. Like what I'm going through right now, it's just horrible. Um, so that's what it is. And again, we don't need the Europeans. The Europeans need us. You know what I'm saying? We didn't come to their countries; they came to us. You know, messed up what we had going on, our systems, minding our own black business. They brought they behind over to our continent, and just ever since the white man came to the African continent, Africa has been going through hell. It's ridiculous. All I'm asking Africans, especially on the African continent, Africans that's in throughout Europe, in Canada, and in the Caribbeans, help get my ebook on that bestsellers list so I can bring my business over to the continent, ladies and gentlemen, especially in South Africa. It, Vantage, or I would say right now, South Africa has a 30% unemployment rate. We could break that down to at least get it down to half of it, 15%. But we got to get it popping here in America first, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're smart, please make yourself known to me, because that's who I want to connect with: smart and brave people. Not people that's just good at running off at the mouth and that could, just sit up here and could debate somebody and all that stuff. Because at the end of the day, that's why that dude didn't want to get on camera with me. At the end of the day, I'm still standing on business. You know what I'm saying? I've been standing on business for 34 years. But I don't want to be stagnant. And I don't want to be, you know, sitting up here just want to focus on Black American issues. I want to turn the business over and bring it over to the African continent and help solve those problems there, especially economic problems, create jobs for those that want to work. You know what I'm saying? But I can't do that you know, if the business ain't up and running. So the main scriptures for Gurkam are as follows. So please read Ezekiel 34, chapter 34, verse 11 through 16, King James Version. And that talks about how God gave each racial group, because I know a lot of people say God doesn't see color, you know, but he does, because he made white people, black people, Asian people. He knows it's color. Yeah, we're divided by race and all that stuff. But again, he gave each racial group their own homeland. Europe is for the white man. Africa is for the black man. Asia is for the yellow man. I'm just putting it out there like that. You know what I'm saying? Because when you mix up these different cultures, they're gonna want to bring in their own, culture to these different. That's why people, it's not really good. These it's culture clash, because everybody want to be in charge, especially, and everybody want to make sure that their own group is gonna benefit, and that's how it's supposed to be. But all this off-code behavior with black people and African people is due to slavery, colonization, and enslavement. So that's what we're going to heal from in Grakai of Chicago. You know. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Genesis chapter 15, verse 13 to 14, that talks about our 400-year affliction. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68, that talks about the new Egypt, which is America. You know, Matthew chapter 15, verse 28, it talks about Jesus, saying, when the lady was talking to him, I think at the well or something like that. And, Jesus basically was saying, he's here first to help the Jews. You know what I'm saying? That was his purpose, you know. And she was like saying, well, can I have some bread from some crumbs under the table? And say, why should I cast bread to dogs? So to speak. I'm just paraphrasing. But anyway, that's just saying that he was on Jewish first. He's there to help his own people first. You know what I'm saying? That's what Gakai of Chicago's about. We want to help. We're M1. We want to make sure that that people in the low income black community, that they're going to be good. Make sure that their community safety is going to be intact. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm trying to come over there. Good Lord. But it's such a turnoff. Yeah. I'm not going to sit up here and hold my peace. I want people to come on and get on board. Because again, without support from the black grassroots and global African family, I can't do my job. And again, I don't want to be doing this another 34 years. That's why I'm trying to do the film. My film project is my last attempt. Luke chapter 2, verse 1, that talks about Caesar Augusta. As far as I'm concerned, that's the father of white supremacy. He thought he was God. Doggone it. Up here taxing the world. Nobody didn't give him that authority. He just took that on himself. And Acts chapter 17, verse 6 through 7, that's where, Caesar was, they had to check him and say, hey, look, there's another king. He up here thinking that he was the only person. It's behind nothing. You just have to leave that alone. So one of my group members explained to me that black South Africans didn't gain their independence until 1994. And, I told them I learned that in high school, so I know. And also I knew that even before high school. Learned that when I was in the group home, when I was taken away from my mom's. I learned about that from a thing called Afro Group. I talk about that in the book. But anyhow, other African countries gained their independence back in the 60s. So they had a 30-year plus head start. So the question comes up, where is Pan Africanism? And I responded, Pan Africanism was a creation out of the United States of America. We were the minorities who were oppressed under white supremacy and still is to this day being oppressed by this white supremacy mess. In order for us to survive in America, we had to unite with other black people. And that's why Pan Africanism was born. It started spreading throughout the diaspora. You still have to offer value and contribute something. You know what I'm saying? You can't just go to another person's country but you're not, contributing, I'm just saying. But black South Africans are saying illegal illegal African migrants are leeching off of their government programs and services. So yeah, I understand the frustration. Just like I say, just put pressure on your government, to create laws to not allow that to happen, and y'all gonna have to check those white supremacist financial elites. I mean, good lord, the only reason if you got rid of all of those illegal migrants in your country, you still are going to have those social issues because the white supremacist financial elites own 80% of the land. They hold the economic power. You guys got to take that back from them. Do it legally. That's how come, I mean, all of them are on gold. Again, none of those European nations, they abstained. They didn't vote. That means they know they owe reparations, but for Ghana, it's not about you trying to get reparations, for the Atlantic slave trade. You want to get reparations for colonization. So that's the main thing. Whoever, it's all those different European nations that colonize you all. So each European nation that colonized you, that's where you want to file a complaint against that government. So with South Africa, y'all have to file a complaint with the UK and the Netherlands because it was those two European nations that colonized your country and also put you under apartheid. And that's how it's just a shame. But like I say, if you're serious about me bringing my business over there and helping you get back your land without bloodshed, we can do it. All I ask for you to do is give me a chance. Don't act like black Americans sitting up here taking me for a joke. I'm trying to do what I can, but again, God give us free will. You know, again, I don't. It's a shame, the dope man has more support from the black community than me, and I'm trying to create legitimate jobs where our black youth don't have to run from the cops. You know what I'm saying? But hey, all I can do is the best that I can under. That's all I can do. It's a shame. I don't like what this. And then, oh my goodness, I'm going to talk about that a little later. Another youth was killed. Well, this happens all the time, but this time it was a black youth. He's a basketball player, had a good, bright future and all that. And he was riding uh, uh, Uber, an Uber after a basketball game and then some urban terrorists just pulled up and just started shooting and killed both the Uber driver and the um, the teenage basketball player. Lost his life for nothing. And this is why Gakai is needed. But hey, you know, I'm still on first base. It gets tiresome, but like I say, I just wish that the Lord would bless me with brave and smart people that's gonna work with me and Sister Renee. I pray that I can generate the capital to get this film project popping. You know, but I mean, it is what it is. Um, I'm almost done, ladies and gentlemen. The rhetoric that the white supremacist financial elites uh, use certain groups or buffer groups to attack other groups on their behalf. Those in power claim that they are not that there's not enough resources for everybody. Yet they're not going to share the resources. You know what I'm saying? Because they want to hoard those resources. And so the white supremacist financial elites, they put black South Africans in shanty towns, while white people, which are only 7% of the population, enjoy the wealth while excluding black South Africans, who are the majority of the population. The big elephant in the room are Afrikaners or Boers. They own and control 80% of the economic power and wealth in South Africa. Those who are the white supremacist financial elites in real time, ladies and gentlemen. They are the ones responsible for other Africans coming there to live under refugee programs similar to America. The white supremacist financial elites are responsible for illegal immigrants coming there, and then they are dumped into our neighborhoods to cause tension between black Americans and the immigrant communities. So I'm just saying they were doing that mess over here too, with us. If black Americans would have embraced my vision and plan 34 years ago, we wouldn't be in this situation. Eventually, the Democrats will win back the House, the Senate, and the presidency. They will reopen those borders. We still have a chance to get my revised book on that bestsellers list. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time wasting mechanisms. Saying, when you're just arguing back and forth online, that's what I'm saying. Over here, we want to build. We ain't with the FBA part. You know what I'm saying? Um, because that gives them the illusion that they're doing something, by arguing back and forth. But I'm just saying it's not really producing jack. Um, I'm talking about the white supremacist financial elites are a group of people that's been around the world stealing land and resources from indigenous people. Black people are losing globally. For example, in Harlem, New York, you're now you hardly see black people there. Same thing in Compton. You know what I'm saying? That's because a lot of black this off code behavior. You know, although um, we may still have the street names of Malcolm X Boulevard or Dr. King, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, but none of those streets are owned by black people due to urban gentrification. So, just saying, if you pay close attention to what black South Africans are saying, it's really no different than FBA rhetoric. All of the immigrant African immigrants in South Africa were deported That still wouldn't change anything because black South Africans don't own any banks, major corporations, etc. Because the white supremacist financial elites control the economic power. And that's unfortunate, ladies and gentlemen. I prefer that the black South Africans put pressure on their governments and not take the law in their own hands. White people built the infrastructure. I give them credit for that. But it took black African labor. That's what got those gold mines and diamond mines popping. This is what made European nations wealthy and fueled the economy. Notice these FBAs use the same talking points against African immigrants and Afro Caribbeans. They're taking our jobs and competing for our resources or playing African American roles, in movies. Just saying. The things, the thing most Americans don't understand, illegal immigrants came out of a study. They paid more into the tax systems than they received. They can't get Social Security. They don't qualify for welfare programs. Um, so I'm just saying that's my advice to Black South Africans. Again, please stop targeting other African people, especially those who help you fought against apartheid, and walk with them instead of fighting against them. South Africa has the biggest income inequality out of any country in the world. That's horrible. The thing is, 7% of the population own the that's white people own and control 80% of the land and economic power. So that's always going to be a problem. You guys got to check those white supremacists. You know, bottom line, you can't do that in their country. South Africa is on a downtick if they don't create their own businesses and reclaim their economic power from the white supremacist financial elites. The wealth disparity is the largest in the entire world, and that's one of the problems. It's time for us to have real conversation. Please like and share because we're talking about saving, um, I would say, saving Black South Africans as well as saving Black Americans. We have the power at the grassroots level, but we're allowing these so-called Black leaders to paint us as victims instead of painting us as strong Black voting bloc. We appreciate you taking the time to engage with real conversations, real issues, and real perspectives that matters to Black America. If you're serious about political clarity and independent thinking, then this program is for you. The grassroots community activist movement is a safe space for Black voices and African voices, giving our people local, national, and international voice, reporting on stories other ignore, holding power accountable, and making sure the truth about our community is told by us. Black independent Black media only survives when the community supports it. If you believe in journalism, community accountability, and keep Black voices strong, we need your support over here. Thank you for listening to our audio podcast and for joining us on the stream. We greatly appreciate it. I need you all to support our film project so that way we can move Cam to the next level, and that is getting it on the big screen, ladies and gentlemen. Quote, Hood Liberator made in Chicago, the war against Willie Lynch begins. Unquote. You can be a part of this historic docudrama by contributing to our crowdfunding pages, which are our GoFundMe page, our Buy Me a Coffee page, or our Giving Fund page, which will help fund marketing, promotion, clearance, legal, and general expenses. Thank you for listening to our YouTube live or the replay. If you reside on the African continent, then I recommend that you follow me on my Pod Chaser because it won't eat away your bundles because it's only audio. I provide the link in the comment section below. If you are new to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast, welcome to our safe space where we discuss Black issues and African issues. We do this every week. This will conclude our audio podcast for today. Like, share, and subscribe. See you on the next episode. Now, before I leave, I'm going to try to teach some of you how to navigate. All right? That's important. So that way you'll know how to um, use my Medium page. So right here, what you would do is I would say just go to Google, type in manuel.medium.com. And right here, this is where I have the cursor. So it's right there, up there. Type that in Google, and so that's going to pull up my Medium page. Then I would say hit right here where it says follow. Right? So every time I upload my speeches, you will have access to that. And see right here where it says pin. So all of my current when I upload it, it's going to be the first thing that you see under pin. And so that's the current speech that I've done. So you would click here where it says transcript. And so this is what I read. So you can read that too. Instead of, if you want to avoid having to, pay or eat away at your bundles, to avoid that, then you would just go to my Medium page and read what I've wrote. And that way that won't eat away at your bundles. Okay? That's one way you can do that. Or do what I'm doing now, scroll down to the bottom, and I'll show you how to find my pod chaser. It's going to be down there under show and prove. Right? So here, this is where I have my receipts. So I have articles, I have videos, to reach people where they're at. But ladies and gentlemen, I really want y'all to check out this TikTok video. It says a demand for free healthcare turns racial. So, yeah, she's called Africana or Boer. So, this the black man was talking to a African woman, and so this white lady, she was like, "Go back to your country" and all that stuff. And this boy, that's so disrespectful because she's not indigenous to South Africa first and foremost. And it's just unfortunate, like over here, we're the quote unquote minority in America. We only make up 12% of the population, but yet we got a lot of things in our favor, back in the 60s, our grandparents fought and died for. But now, these laws, because the white man, it's their country, doggone it. They the ones call the shots. It is what it is. That's what I'm saying. The battle is not for America. The battle is for Africa. So that's what I want to, I want to get the business popping over here first. So when I come to Africa, I'm not just going to be there running off at the mouth. I will have something concrete, tangible, which will be the job, create Recover Chicago on the African continent, replicate it. That's all I'm trying to do. But I can't do anything until we get it popping here in Chicago. That's all I'm saying. With the help of African immigrants And like I say, mark my words, once Black Americans see us, once they see it materialize, they're going to want to be on board. But like I say, I just don't want to fool with people that ain't up, that's just, want to sit up here and run game. They're not serious, because you can't say I ain't serious. And yeah, it shouldn't take nobody no 34 years, but God give us free will. So. And so, look at these different videos, ladies and gentlemen. If you not talking about the people that's on the African continent, this is other people that that lives in the West, or if you're able to afford paying for the bundles, then so be it. But anyway, I recommend you check out all of this stuff. And so this is what I was talking about. Well, not that one per se. Let's see. Hold on. So here, this is the one I was talking about here in Chicago, about a high school student and a rideshare driver killed in East Garfield Park. That's where we want to make our presence known too, over there. But anyway, yeah, he got killed because some urban terrorists just pulled up and just decided to, just to kill him because they can, it got a gun. Ridiculous. It's unfortunate, and this mess has to stop. And then over here, this is a woman or a mother. Her 17-year-old son was among three that was shot. After a prom. That's not cool. So you can check that out and watch it. You know, so this was unfortunate. Domestic violence. So a lot of our people, they have become Americanized. They have a narcissist attitude, and they're becoming like like the colonizers. Unfortunate. So yeah, this man, he killed two brothers. His girlfriend's brothers, because he was abusing their sister. So that's a sad case, but I'm just saying. Alrighty. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So check all this stuff out, all of it, if you can, so that way we can be on the same page. Um, and if you want to be on the panel, send me your email address so to my Facebook inbox, and I would share with you about the instructions about how to get on there. Right? If you're serious. Okay. And again, what I want, I'm looking around. I just want to point out a couple things. Let's see. Um, just bear with me. See, it's a lot of stuff. So, like I said, I come with receipts. Um, trying to find a couple of things that's kind of important to me. Yeah, it's very important. So just bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna scroll down here. Um, So let me see. All right, starting with this lady right here. Just check out that video. Um Pam, Pam, Pamala Gerald Paul. Like I say, I mean, she really makes us as Black Americans regret, pushing for immigration. But like I say, that was during our grandparents, day, back in the '60s and all that stuff. So, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're gonna have to fight that. Like this lady, she want to give reparations to illegal immigrants. It's a turn off, and I don't think any Black American in their right mind should vote for Democrats at this point. Just let them crash and burn. They come to us with, saying that they willing to give us a anti-hate crime bill and reparations. Then yeah, you know, we can look at that and uh, help them. But they gotta give us that reparations first. We ain't gonna let them just dangle that in front of us. Um, Check out this. This is other stuff that I want to show you. Check out the Scramble for Africa. That way you'll find out who colonized you. Those of you that's on the continent, which European nation that done that, and those are the European nation that you need to, you know, um, get you some good lawyers. I know, I mean, everything costs, but hey, you do what you need to do in order to let those people know that you mean business. You know, it ain't something that is charity. That's something that they owe because we didn't ask them to come to our continent. Bottom line. And so when it, as it pertains to the United States, this is what get the United States government tied to the hook of slavery because all the U.S. presidents had slaves, and that same I would say government back then is the same government today. So they can't say, "Oh, that happened a long time ago when it was legal." Okay, I hear what you're saying, but that same government is still existing. You know what I'm saying? And this is what, yeah, read about this massacre. They threw slaves overboard, or made them drown because they didn't care because they were just cargo to them, and they had insurance on them. So that was horrible. And right here, slave owners, they got reparations here from America, and this is in the UK. Slave compensation, still same thing with reparations. They got that, and the UK didn't finish paying for that compensation until I believe 2015. But they gonna sit up here and say, "Oh, that happened um, a long time ago when it was legal." So I'm just saying, check those things out. This stuff, ladies and gentlemen, and we got to stay on their bumper. You know, read about the benign and neglect. These are the policies. After slavery, they still lacking of food. You know, and again, that go my credibility and look at my GoFundMe page. So I'm not gonna trip. Like I say, God give us free will. But if it was up to me, everybody would be on board. Speed up the process. Dag. I'm getting up in age now. Shucks. I mean, I want this thing popping before I'm too old that I'm gonna be able to do jack, you know. I don't want that to happen, Dad. But that's all I have to say. So thank you all for listening. Um I'm trying to make sure I don't put on my ghetto hat because I'm educated, but I can act a fool, and I don't want to be showing that side of myself. That's the old me. I'm a new person and stuff. I ain't like I used to be. I'm better. But thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to this, and I hope that more people would. Oh yeah, right here, my YouTube page. Make sure y'all subscribe and share. Put me on blast. I only want to talk to people that's on business. If you only want to play games or just looking for attention, I'm not the one. All right. Peace and blessings. Thank you for your time. And that's going to conclude our show for today, ladies and gentlemen.